Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. It's the last day in the life of a baseball season. The sun rises on the 162nd game of the season as players and fans set the final pieces in place for one last stroll through the summer game. A fabulous finish in Detroit where the Tigers sweep the season-ending series, choking the life out of the Blue Jays to settle the East once and for all. In Chicago, a sweet swinger closes out his last October, while in Kansas City, a Royal rookie ends a sizzling year number one. Concluding one of baseball's best summers, we present the final day of the regular season from dawn till dusk. So stay tuned for a special edition, one and all, coming right up next on This Week in Baseball. One Day in Baseball, coming up. Day dawns on the final hours of the regular season, and the players prepare for baseball one last time. In Kansas City, Kevin Seitzer, the Royals' dazzling rookie, leaves for the ballpark early. He enters the final game of the season tied for the league lead in hits. And today, as major leaguers head for the ballpark, Seitzer can't wait to get to work.
I like to get to the ballpark real early every day.
For Reggie Jackson, it's his last trip to the ballpark, while for others, it's just goodbye, buddy, see you next spring.
Take care. Good luck.
So let's continue with our farewell to the regular season, a final day in the life of baseball. 3 pennant races clinched, 1 still pending.
Hey, big boy. Stay ready. Last day, you're gonna miss me.
David, what's going on? See you made it. How are you? I did.
It's the last day of the season. And we can pick our own friends after today.
Is that take that?
Hey, I'm out of here with
Hit his 30th last night.
I need a high ball, bro. High ball. Hey! Yeah!
Reggie, you came into this game swinging, and all the 20 years that you were in it, you were swinging all the time. Why don't you go out swinging today? I said, by golly, he says, I just may do that.
I accept the fact that the 1987 season ends in about 3 hours.
I've had a tough time with kidney stones as usual, and hopefully I'm going to get rid of those. I'm having trouble with them today, and in fact, but season ends on a, let's go get them next year, but I'm surely glad this year's over so I can go home and relax.
Normally this game, last game of the season, you'd be wrapping up, taking things out of, the ball players' locks, uniforms and jackets, but this time it's all different because we're going to St. Louis right after the ball game, and everybody's excited.
Well, this is the showdown in Motown. Right here, the Rumble on Trumbull. It's the last day of the season at Tiger Stadium, and it's the Tigers against the Blue Jays, and watch out.
High noon in Detroit, 3 hours before the final shootout. In other ballparks around the majors, game time is rapidly approaching as the rituals of the summer game play on. It may be the last day of the season, but it's business as usual for players and fans who come out to the ballpark for that one last fling. With the end of the season come the vast memories that will linger all winter. Pennants won, pennants lost, promises made, shattered, great expectations for some, others great surprises. But now, to the games themselves, beginning, of course, with the national anthem, the last act before the first pitch of the day. Hey, Reggie, stop. You missed your cue. We'll tell you when to play ball.
We're set to go on what is a gorgeous Sunday afternoon.
Fenway Park on a cold and kind of raw afternoon. They are going to play baseball after all.
Beautiful day for baseball at Arlington Stadium as the curtain comes down to the 1987 season.
Hello again, everybody. Harry Carey from Montreal. You've just heard the two national anthems.
Royal Stadium in Kansas City. It's a sunny, clear Sunday afternoon as the Western Division champion Twins will finish off the regular season for 1987.
Sell out at Candlestick Park on Fan Appreciation.
The Tigers and Blue Jays have played 161 games. The Tigers have a one-game lead going into what could be the finale of the regular season.
So now let's play ball. In Detroit, the Tigers take the field, while in Chicago, Reggie Jackson takes the Oakland A's to an early lead, smacking a double in the very first at-bat of his very last game.
And Oakland has taken a 1-0 lead.
In Kansas City, rookie Kevin Seitzer spruces up his league-leading hit total while sparking the Royals to a romp.
Out in right center field. Brunansky can't get it. Only Wilson will score. Around in the outfield. So will Pagoda. Seitzer's 206th hit is a triple.
Meanwhile, in Detroit, the Blue Jay Tigers showdown is just getting underway. Neither team has scored in the first inning. But in Texas, Mark Langston of Seattle scores big. Besides heading for win number 19, he's about to fan 10 batters and end the season with his second consecutive strikeout title. The Dodgers may be striking up a win in San Diego, but they'll have to wait till next year. A Blue Jays scout watches in Minnesota with high hopes for the playoffs.
The role today is just to conclude our reports on Minnesota, see if there's anything that we haven't seen before, get an idea if anybody happens to get hurt in this ball game, how it might affect their status for the playoffs.
Toronto's status is seriously affected by Larry Herndon.
There's a fly ball to left field. George Bell has gone back, still going, it's carrying, it is.
Figuring to use a little clout of his own in Montreal, the Cubs' Andre Dawson looks for home run number 50.
And a hot shot. Oh, what a play by Wallach at third. The throw to second is in time.
NOS champions. All playoff tickets are sold out.
Yeah, we've got it licked right now. It's we sent out some more letters for our lottery people, and they're going to be able to come in on Wednesday to pick up their tickets, and after that, everything should be gone.
My office essentially is handling in excess of 700 news media from around the world to cover the playoffs and or the World Series here. And each one of those people needs a name tag and a place to sit and a place to stay and something to eat.
Normally this time of year we'd be sitting here watching the 49ers football game because it would be so slow. Last game of the season we normally draw between 20 and 25,000, but because the Giants have won the Western Division, the crowd is much larger and we're selling a ton more stuff.
Well, we have to produce a postseason media guide, and as the game's going on outside now, Clark just hit another home run, his 34th, and drove in 90 runs, so now I got to add a note on who was the last Giant to have 90 RBIs in the season. So, just waiting for the game to end and get to it, and then we have to get them transported from here to St. Louis and passed out in time for game one on Tuesday.
The Cardinals, meanwhile, can't get past the sharp eye of umpire Bruce Fremming.
Another one over to first. This one close. It's called a balk. With Bruce Fremming on first base, you have got to be careful.
In Chicago, an A's rookie isn't careful enough with Carlton Fisk.
High, deep left field. Going back, Canseco to the wall. It's gone.
No such long ball in Houston, where strikeout king Nolan Ryan is holding court.
Oh, man. Ryan strikes out the side. There's a curveball again. Number 10.
Dave Stewart sticks at win number 20 as he leaves Comiskey Park, anxious to find out what's going on in Fenway Park. Because in Boston, fellow Cy Young candidate Roger Clemens is looking to match Stewart's league-leading victory total and collect 20 wins for the second straight year.
It's hit in the air to right field. It's playable. And it's caught by Benziger. The game is over, and Roger Clemens wins his 20th.
Meanwhile, back in Chicago, the game is half over, and the Comiskey Park grounds crew tidies up for one last go around the base paths. A sweep may also be in the works in Detroit, where the Tigers and Blue Jays are in the middle of a thrilling drama that has even captured audiences in more than one Major League clubhouse. As for the game itself, Frank Tanana holds a one-run lead thanks to a hot glove at third.
Morrison, look what I found. Throws in the dirt, scooped out by Evans.
In scooping up his second batting title, the Padres' Tony Gwynn departs with an average of .370, the league's highest since Stan Musial hit .376 back in 1948.
They give the crowd a chance to say thank you, Tony, for a job well done.
Kirby Puckett has a job to do. Get one more hit to tie Kevin Seitzer for the league lead.
He did it! How about that? Kirby gets his second hit, and Puckett ties Kevin Seitzer.
Looking to give the Cardinals a pick-me-up in St. Louis, Jack Clark gets a tempting offer in the pinch. Back to that in a moment. Meanwhile, in Kansas City, an outfielder makes a royal offering.
That one may drop in. Oh, high grab by Danny Tarnable. What a catch!
And what a catch in Yankee Stadium, where a fan gets rewarded for coming to the ballpark well prepared.
Nice play right there. The guy brings his glove and ends up with a ball in it.
Back in St. Louis, the Cardinals end up drawing more than 3 million fans. Only the third club in history to reach that mark. As for their top slugger, Jack Clark, he ends up empty in the pinch.
Struck him out. Randy Myers strikes out 2 in the inning and blows away pinch hitter Jack Clark to end it and preserve a one-run lead for New York.
Preserving a time-honored tradition, fans around the majors stand up for a customary stretch in the 7th inning. Comiskey Park fans get one last look at Mr. October as Reggie comes to bat for the very last time in his 21-year career. Will he or will he not? Let's see.
Broken bat up the middle, base hit, Reggie Jackson.
Saying goodbye to all that, Reggie calls it quits. Meanwhile, in Detroit, Frank Tanana calls on his own glove work to help preserve that 1-0 lead.
Squibber! Tanana has it, and they're 3 outs away.
Time's running out in Houston for free agent Jose Cruz, who looks to be leaving the Astros after 13 outstanding seasons. Meanwhile, in California, the Angels sink to a last-place tie, 1 year after winning the West Division title.
The 2-2 pitch. Line drive center field, but there's Butler. He's going back on the ball, makes the catch, and the ball game and season come to an end.
And what an end for Kansas City's Kevin Seitzer, who finishes up his rookie year tied for most hits in the league. And how about this season ender from Bob Brenly to give his division-winning Giants an even 90 wins?
Deep to left field, Deion James goes back, and the ball game is over. Bob Brenly closes out the 1987 regular season.
Everybody standing. Here's the pitch to Stone, a fly ball to left field. Coming on is Bonds. It is over. The Pirates have finished in a tie for 4th place in the National League East.
In Detroit, Frank Tanana and company are just 1 out away from sweeping the crumbling Blue Jays to clinch the American League East.
Tapper could be the ball game. Tanana, Evans, Tigers, champion.
Oh, no. They go in Detroit, boys. At least we don't have to go concussion.
Not your customary season-ending ball game. In fact, it's the first time in 5 years a division race has been settled on the last day of the season. It's champagne time for owner Tom Monahan and his Tigers, who celebrate their 2nd division crown in 4 seasons.
Just a little bit. Okay, just a little.
I told my wife when I left the house today, I said, honey, if I win this, I have done everything that a little boy could have ever sat down and dreamed in fairy tales.
Someone had to win, and we come a very long way, and we wanted it bad. I'm sure they did too, but, you know, we got the outstanding pitching job. They did also. We got the one run that counted.
I really believe the reason that we're standing here with champagne in our hands today is because we had 3 great pitching performances, which we absolutely needed. They had 3 great pitching performances, but ours were just a tad better.
Yeah! Like Red Auerbach, I guess. That's what it is.
Jubilation of sorts, too, in Pittsburgh as the rebuilding Pirates finish out of the cellar for the first time in 4 years.
It's been a lot of fun for me the last 8 weeks to show up to the ballpark, and that's really imperative. You got to want to go to the ballpark, and you got to want to play. And that's the situation now in Pittsburgh with the players.
We need good speed, we need good throwing arms, we need good athletes, but above all that, we need great makeup, and we have that with this new players that we've acquired through trades and through our own system.
A big step for Pittsburgh, and a final one for Reggie, who ends up with 563 homers, 6th best of all time. Not so modest numbers for a not so modest man who reflects on Reggie as only Reggie can.
I would compare my career to a farmer. You planted a beautiful crop. Got up every day at 4 in the morning and you went to bed every night at dusk. It rained when you wanted, sunshine when you wanted to. And when you loaded up your truck and went to market, prices were at an all-time high. On the way home with an empty truck and a pocket full of money, you'd be smiling. I'm taking respect from the game. I gave respect to the game, and I'm taking that with me. I got respect in the opposing dugout. I got respect in my dugout. I can't ask for anything more than that, right? If anybody says anything about me, they say, he played hard every day.
I can't see you as a farmer. A superstar? Yeah, man. Good luck, Reggie. The season, too, must also come to rest. For some, it's an ending full of promise, while for others, full of uncertainty. We'll know more about that next spring.
Final game for Jose Cruz in an Astros uniform after so many great moments.
Okay, that takes care of things from Fenway Park in Boston.
He picked up the check this morning.
He forgot his wallet.
No, you will be with me next year. You will be. You will.
Well, last time we packed the bags, boys.
Have a good winter, guys.
I gotta go.
Is she a ticket?
I never heard of Channel 5. What's that?
NBC here. Thank you, Reggie.
Thank you.
I don't work for any of them.
Good luck.
I don't even have a job now.
There'll always be an October, but never another Reggie Jackson. Now, This Week in Baseball's Flashback, brought to you by Old Spice deodorant and antiperspirant. Switch to the lasting protection of Old Spice. The tumult and the shouting have died. The last cheers have been stilled, and the players and fans are gone for the winter. The end of the baseball season is at hand.
Now the seats are all empty. Let the roadies take the stage. pack it up and tear it down. They're the first to come and the last to leave, working for that minimum wage. They'll set it up in another town.
It's been a season that has had many highlights and many sad defeats. But then there's always the joy of looking forward to 1988. And April is only 6 months away.
That's right. But we'll be back next week for one last edition of This Week in Baseball.